Well, we're back with you to get you updated on what's going on in our ag commodity trade. I'm Marlin Bohling, your tour guide to the ag commodities. And let's take a look at this corn market. Our quotes are provided by Bar Chart. And right behind me, we have September corn now showing a trade unchanged. It's coming back. We're now at 482 and a quarter. And that's about a nickel off of our earlier low this morning. December corn now only one tick lower at 495 and a half. So things elevating off of those early sell-offs. Now on soybeans, we're coming back somewhat too. You have September still down 8.5 cents, but we're at 13.39 and 3/4. That means we have rallied about 11 cents from our earlier low this morning. And we're now 11 cents from our high last night too. November down 10 and a quarter. We're now at 12.91 and 3/4, about 9 cents off of its earlier low. Now in September, Chicago wheat, we're down 7 and a quarter at 650 and a quarter. That has come back about 7 cents from its earlier sell-off. In Kansas City wheat, you have September 5 3/4 lower at 764. That's about a 6 cent rebound from its earlier low this morning. And on spring wheat, we're 2.5 higher at 826 and 3/4. That has now rallied about a dime off of its earlier low. It's back within 2 cents of its high of the day. Interesting stuff going on in the grain. In cotton, you currently have December down 16, and we're at 85.18 per pound right now. Oh, it's that time of the week where we call on Mr. Ben Hushon of the mill. He's in Whitehall, Maryland. He gets us updated on what's going on in the Mid-Atlantic region. And, you know, I wondered, Ben, how much rain you had yesterday, if any at all. I heard about all the airport delays and everything in the eastern seaboard. So how did you come through all that?
Good morning, Marlin. Well, I can tell you it was a pretty calm day till late afternoon, and then it cranked up wave after wave of wind and rain. One real strong windstorm came through between 4 and 6 o'clock, depending on what part of the area. There are trees down everywhere. A lot of folks without electricity. Seen some pictures of some just recently of some damage to barns. But it's interesting, the crops, corn, of course, corn's been in full tassel for weeks now, and this is about that time last year we had a whole bunch of it blown flat. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing some lean so far this morning, but certainly an awful lot of farmers focused on cleaning up trees and working on repairing buildings on their properties today.
Well, hopefully they came through it in pretty good shape. So other than tolerating the storm that just went through, what are farmers working on right now, or what are you working on?
Right now, probably the biggest thing that's still happening, if you remember last August, we had the new corn disease called tar spot coming through, and that really spurred the interest in tassel application of fungicide. It's been going on in the community for quite a while, primarily with helicopters, but kind of the new direction. And for the viewers, I sent in some pictures of drones, and that's become a real thing in our community. There's still a couple of them flying, wrapping up some of the late planted corn. Gets in and out of fields, gets in and out of farms without a whole lot of fanfare, a whole lot of potential complaints from neighbors, et cetera, and really does a nice job from what we've seen. We did a bunch of water-sensitive paper down at the ear leaf, worked with extension agents to do some trials to make sure, are we getting the fungicide and, of course, also a little bit of plant food and some plant stimulators on. And it's all about the belief that the healthier that corn is, the more likely it might be able to fight off some of the tar spot that may have already arrived in some of these storms, and maybe even carried over from last year in some cases.
You know, that's some fascinating video that you provided. We're watching right now. It's a 6-rotor drone that you're featuring. How many acres realistically can you cover with that at a time?
So you're only getting 2 to 3 acres at a time with that. But again, that's when you watch it land, that'd probably be a better video to send in sometime. You can watch it land, and the ground crew slaps the battery in it, puts in 6-7 gallon of product and back off it takes. It's only on the ground a minute or two, because when you first hear 2 acres till you have to swap the batteries, that's not very much. But it takes 2 people, but pretty comfortably ought to be able to average at least 100 acres a day, which to your listeners in the Midwest, they just started laughing. But when it's your 100 acres that got done today and has some protection and has some yield bump, it's pretty valuable to you.
Well, but the thing is, I mean, this is a technology in its infancy, and I mean, everything is going to be scaling up as we go. In fact, we had some stories yesterday about some large, like small plane-sized drones that they were already testing in some parts of the country that they could cover a lot of acres in a hurry. So, I mean, it's fascinating to watch all this develop, and I'm glad to see you out there using some of that cutting-edge technology to help the folks out this year in 2023 already. Can't wait to see what happens in the next 5 years. Ben, thank you for the update. Appreciate that very much. Great stuff. Ben Hushon of The Mill. He's in Whitehall, Maryland, and we'll pause here. We'll come back in a moment, and I'll take a look at your livestock trade next.